Hi, welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophia, pilot into the universe of Chinese. Let's continue unpacking well-wishing, mostly happen in New Year time expressions. So today we're going to talk about 大吉大利. Okay, you see repetition there? 大 and 大. Both of them like the same descriptive, describing two different things. How does that work? Why this magic word big? It's so universal. It can be applied in different things or aspects in life. And there was this joke about people intentionally to use such simple word like big to kind of, okay, the granularity or the appropriateness to use big on describing something. This is high granularity. It's not super accurate. And it's almost like a mental laziness that you are going to use the same descriptor on two different things. And especially the same descriptor. It's so basic. I mean, it just describes the volume of things or the size of things, the quantity of things. And that's that. That's simple things repeated twice. And from the language perspective of all that Chinese set phrases in 4-character formations most of the time, this doesn't appear to me as elegant, right? Simply because there's such repetition. But at the same time, I want to say that Chinese do have such a flexibility to give language users to allow them to be lazy and to just use the same character twice, describing two things. And then everybody gets it, nonetheless. So the elegance of language, been using more relevant, more accurate, specific, term-specific descriptors versus this kind of general term applied twice. I guess the elegance is not, the elegance lost to the efficiency because now 大吉大利, everybody understands that. And it became the set phrase that everybody used and nobody questioned it. Like what? It does give you a sense of broad stroke or broad brush, general sense of things are going well. And you don't even need to detailing on how well it is. It's simply in a grand way, that's da and da again. Okay, I'm babbling a lot on this formation of language just to say that Chinese have this flexibility of repeating the exact same thing twice in such a density, like 4 characters. 2 of them are the same thing. Okay, come down to da. Da is opposite of 小. And when I solve the mystery of how language creators express da, I pair it with 小 at the same time. So da looks like this. This structure was horizontal line, roughly horizontal with a little bit bend there. That means doubling something. So this is 2 pieces combined together versus 小. Still same structure like that, but in 小, it's cut in half. With this, instead of binder going horizontally, that thing is going vertically to make sure it's separated, the 2 pieces. So just visually, it means the 2 combine into 1, double the size of the original. And this means one thing cut in half, half the size of the original. So it turned out that 大 and 小 are relative terms. In English as well as in Chinese, big and small are all relative because all of them are implied. But like, how can you make a judgment of something is big? Because you benchmark it against some unsaid, assumed, common, like shared between the speaker and the listener, shared standard that's bigger than something. And that then something is unsaid. It's like a commonly understood. That's the norm. And then you have this absolute term looking saying, but actually it's relative. So 大吉 here simply means double the size. It's bigger than the original. It's bigger than expected. Okay. And 吉 and the 利. 吉. Okay. It's made of two parts, and the top looks like an arrowhead. Okay. So it's weaponry. The bottom looks like a container. So it's a container holding the weaponry over there. It's implied that the weapon is in its container. Sort of like the sword is in the sheath. It's not open up. It's not in use. So that indicates it's peaceful time. It's not wartime because the weapons, the arrows are in its container. Okay. Lucky in Chinese concept here, 吉 came from this peaceful time. I mean, peace we assumed because we live in a long strand of peaceful time. I mean, until recent years. Last year, the Ukraine war, and this year, the Israeli-Gaza conflict. But before this recent 2 years, it's a long strand of peace in general. I mean, there was no grand scale, global war scale, right? So this assumed peace in our assumption, because we grew up in this era, we didn't even think about that. We didn't even realize that's an assumption or that's a condition, not assume it to be the default condition. And in Chinese character, language creators make it obvious that you're actually lucky when it's not wartime, when the war heads, either nuclear heads or the arrowheads, are put in its container. That's not a default condition. It's really your lucky condition. So in that sense, my generation, really lucky generation. Okay, so that's Chinese 吉, and the 利 came from this crop cutting motion. The crop is made of a plant symbol, which has its top upward facing, because it's sun facing, right? And the bottom is downward facing, which is gravity pulled. So this is the root, and this is the visible part of the plant. And then the top, the highest, the spikiest part got this bend structure. That means the crop is in ripe, and therefore it's heavy. It's almost like a weighing on itself. It cannot stand up straight. Sun stretching out to the sun anymore. It's weighing down by its ripe fruit or grains, whatever that is. So that's crop ready to be harvested. And harvesting is a critical time because I didn't came from this agriculture background. So I'm removed like 2 generations away from farming activity. My probably great grandparents live on the land. And I didn't get to have this firsthand experience of the whole farming cycle. But I learned that in the farming community in China, which is a big percentage of the population, there are harvesting season. That students, maybe high schoolers or even high schoolers or middle schoolers, as soon as they can work as a farm hand, they will stop going to school during that week, go to help their family to do the harvesting. So apparently harvesting is time sensitive. And so by harvest efficiently, you want to shorten the window to harvest, you have to have sharp tools. So when we have this tool, which is a kind of sickle thing with edge cutting, supposedly cutting next to the crop sign, that means you better have sharp tools in there. And that's implied because this is a harvesting use tool. And that means by itself, it's used in harvesting. By itself, that means it's super sharp. And by sharp, something is sharp. It extends to this tool, it's sharp. And then further extends to this tool is beneficial, it's useful because it's sharp, it's good to use, right? It enhance your productivity. So it's something good. It's something I translate as fortunate. So eventually it extends to, I mean, people most care about making money, right? So in this case, it will be whatever tool you have or product or service or whatever kind of business you have, it's going to be sharp enough that it's going to make you a fortune. So the logic from the farming tool being sharp extended all the way to, you have a good strategy or market positioning, however, that your business is sharp enough to make you a fortune. So that's applied in business setting. Okay, so 大吉大利, to me, it sounds like it's a well-wishing for some supposedly business person to have a favorable environment, lucky, that's environmental condition for the business to succeed. Okay, so environmental in ancient times applies with peaceful time. I mean, in today as well, right? For business to thrive, the first condition is it's in peaceful time. And I mean, other conditions of wartime money making is another story, but for the most of business, for them to thrive, for people to thrive, peaceful time is the first thing. So this peace symbol becomes this environmental condition. And then li becomes more like tactical level of a business have powerful tools to be more efficient in making good return of their investment. So both external environment and internal, your tool, your business, your setup, your process, combine, both of them it described as big, like big means grand, means great. So you have great environment externally and you have a great business by itself, both combined, then that's the condition to make you super lucky, to make you, a powerhouse of money-making machine, so to speak. So I want to show you 吉利. We remove this big from here. 吉利 by itself in Chinese already becomes a formation or a combination of characters that means lucky. And I want to show you this because we have a brand in China. This auto brand is 吉利 and 汽车 is auto. So some business, because it's a good meaning, right? It's like well-wishing, it's good luck in everything, external, internal, that is for sure going to be used by some business branding because they want to wish themselves luck, right? And also probably by themselves having that 吉利, have that good luck element to that, extends to their consumers. So consumers see, wow, they want to have a lucky car, right? So it's going to be a sort of a branding thing. So indeed, 吉利汽车 is one of the, I guess, known Chinese made auto brands out there. So there you go. 大吉大利, super lucky. Cash into the currency of thinking by one. What a day with Sophie.